This episode of Irritable Dad Syndrome was previously recorded in a basement somewhere in Ohio. Please listen responsibly.
I look like a mushroom had sex with a turtle. I do.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, at one point, I look like a turtle. Another part, I look like a mushroom.
Right.
Hence.
So who do you think initiated, the mushroom or the turtle?
Clearly the turtle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either the turtle's getting him or an Italian plumber's going to come by.
Yeah.
It's
a me.
Mario.
Who elected you leader of this outfit? Well, Pete, I figured it should be the one with the capacity for abstract thought. But if that ain't the consensus view, then hell, let's put her to a vote.
Suits me. I'm voting for yours truly.
Well, I'm voting for yours truly, too.
Okay. I'm with you fellas.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This podcast is so dent. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hey, I'm Darren.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 133, and are you kids in for a treat tonight? On this week's episode, I totally forgot where my kid was this weekend. Like, completely had no idea.
Huh.
Yeah.
This weekend, I went in and I finally pissed off the U2 Facebook group. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Very short U2. So there's people reaching for the podcast to turn off. Very short.
It's a very short story, yeah. And we're going to review a couple of movies. I'm going to go over the Banshees of Inisherin, which is nominated for 9 Academy Awards. And it's... Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about Creed 3.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
So it's going to be a good show.
Yeah. Before we begin, if you like what we do, we are Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Yes.
You can go to www.irritabledadsyndrome.com, find all of our links, follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
We have a YouTube channel, that link's back there. All of our previous episodes with descriptions, a searchable index. There's all kinds of fun things on there. You can also leave reviews, send us notes, get in contact with us, what you would like to see on the show. So go visit us there.
We've been doing this for a while now.
There's a lot of stuff there.
We have more than 130 episodes on there.
Yeah,
and a lot of them are really, really good.
Yep. And there's a lot of videos up on our YouTube channel, so go check that out.
Yeah. Good times. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Where's the mustache?
So here's what happened. I started growing my facialness to goad me into losing weight.
Right.
That did not work.
Right.
And I hit a point where I knew I was going to have to shave at some point this weekend for work.
Yeah.
Something going on at work. I could not walk around like that all week. So I'm going to have to do it anyway. I went into the bathroom and I decided to have some fun. I shaved all of it with the exception of a very porny stash. And I came so close to cutting myself while shaving because I busted out laughing as I was creating that monstrosity. And then
you look like Freddie Mercury's less popular younger brother.
Yeah. So then I wanted to see how long it would take for my family to notice that. I walked out of the bathroom. Andrew looked at me and he said, "What did you do?" Like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Beth saw it. She immediately started laughing. The only person that didn't react was Charlie.
Yeah.
He reacted much later, maybe 20 or 30 minutes later. He came to find me in the house because Beth had said, "Did you see Daddy's face?"
Yeah.
And he saw it and he immediately said, "You need to shave that."
Yeah.
So we took pictures. We did the whole thing, posted it on Facebook. Well, we were supposed to go to dinner that night at an Italian restaurant. And Beth said, "You have to wear that to the, to our friends, they need to see you like that in the restaurant." I said, "Okay." But the husband saw my picture on Facebook, liked it, laughed, all the thing. I was like, well, he's seen it.
Yeah.
Plus, and this is more important, I was going to the gym in between that time and the time of the restaurant. And I'm okay. As a matter of fact, I think it's kind of funny, the idea of me out there lifting weights with the porn stash on. So something about that gets me giddy. However, I do use the locker room at the gym.
Yeah.
And I do not want to be walking around in the locker room with that on my face, scaring children. There's children in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare them.
Tell me something. Why is it that if you know somebody who does not have any facial hair, and then all of a sudden they have it, and then they have a mustache, it looks crazy. But if you meet someone for the first time and they have a mustache, you never think anything about it.
Well, when I was starting to shave it off, I had the stuff coming down here, like
the connectors,
like hardcore.
Yeah.
I played around with the idea of just shaving that off and leaving it because my dad had a mustache.
Yeah.
As long as I knew, like his entire life, he had a mustache. I'm toying around with the idea after this week of regrowing everything and then bringing back the stash. And I may stick with that when we go on vacation.
Good
It
time.
could be fun.
It's now time for this week's winning numbers. Ready? 3, 7, 12, 44, 51, 85, and 99. Since we had no winner last week, the prize has doubled and rolled over to this week. So grab your ticket and good luck. Now back to the show.
So what I was telling you at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, you ditched your kid.
I didn't ditch him at all.
Okay.
So Cameron went to a weekend spring camp thing for our church. Okay. And I drove him. It's Friday night.
Okay.
So I get off work. I come upstairs and my wife, Libby, says, Darren, you need to take Cameron to our church. Can you do it? And I said, yeah, I can do that. So I packed all his stuff. Okay. I went through the list. I packed the clothes that he needed, his deodorant. Okay. I made sure that he had all the stuff, put it in there.
Clothes, deodorant, toothbrush.
Exactly. Yeah. The extra shoes, all the stuff, his sleeping bag.
Yeah. Pillow.
I packed all of it. Okay.
Socks.
Yes.
Underwear.
Yes.
Okay.
I packed all of it. I put it in the car.
Okay.
I drove him to our church.
Okay.
And when we got there, turns out, because I thought he was going to go there and then they would feed him. They weren't.
Oh.
I asked.
Okay.
Because I'm a good dad.
Yeah.
So I took him to the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Got him some food. And then I put him on the bus. I waved as he, left.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is I took him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did all the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your actions led to him being there
at camp.
Yes.
Saturday morning, I wake up. I'm craving breakfast. Daddy makes a big breakfast on the weekends.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I make breakfast burritos.
No.
Sometimes I'll make a giant heaping bowl of oatmeal for everybody.
Yeah.
Fruit smoothies I've been known to make sometimes. Like Libby makes pancakes better than I do, but sometimes I will make the pancakes.
Pancakes are always welcome.
On a very, very special occasion, usually it's when it's Libby's birthday. I
You make Bloody Marys.
No, I make French toast.
Okay.
Okay, and I make really, really good French toast. Yeah. Anyway, so it's Saturday morning. I'm craving breakfast. I scramble a bunch of eggs. I cut up a bunch of fruit. Okay. I make all the toast, and I've got the table set, and I've got everybody's drinks. I've got everybody's cutlery. The napkins are placed. I've made coffee.
Okay.
And then I yell, boys.
There's an S on that.
Yeah, boys, plural.
Yeah.
Boys. And finally, Jacob says, what? I'm like, it's breakfast. Come downstairs for breakfast. And he gets out of bed. And I said, go get your brother. And he goes, Dad, Cameron's not here. And I said, the hell do you mean Cameron's not here?
Hey, what happened?
Oh.
I'm like, where is Cameron?
Did the word dementia just kind of float in the back of your
Totally.
the back of your head?
Totally. I'm like, how could he not? He doesn't have a car. He doesn't. I mean, even if he decided to get out of the house and walk somewhere, he doesn't know how to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Because whenever we go somewhere, he's always playing a game or something on his phone. He doesn't pay attention to what direction we go.
Yeah.
He gets to the end of our neighborhood. He doesn't know if you go right or left or straight.
Okay.
So where the hell's Cameron? And I said, what do you mean he's not here? And he's like, Dad, Cameron's at camp. I'm like,
oh boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Did Jacob and Libby give each other a look like, oh, does our insurance cover psychiatric?
Just to remind you, I packed him.
You did.
I took him to the bus that takes him to camp. So, and then I completely forgot that he was at camp.
I don't feel so bad about my stories now.
So anyway, Cameron, I hope you had fun at camp. I don't know. I think he's home.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
As far as I know, I went and got him. I remembered to pick him up.
Did they send you with a picture of him?
Which kid is yours?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just hand.
I was hoping just to recognize by smell. I'm waiting for one of the kids to approach me, and then I will know that they're my kid.
Hand the guy a Polaroid. So give me one of them right there.
Tell you what was awesome though. He got out of the bus. He ran and hugged me. About knocked me down.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's cool. And I said, "Are you Cameron? Cameron? Okay, cool."
I've complained on here before about the U2 Facebook group.
Right.
And the reason we've talked about them, one of the reasons we talked about them is because you went on there and you pissed them off. Darren joined the U2 Facebook group This is one of those Facebook groups where you have to answer questions like, what's your favorite album?
Or I think they asked who plays guitar.
Yeah. So there's a strict limitation on who can join this elite clan.
Yes. And I pissed off the group because once I joined it, I asked the question, so what do you guys think of U2? And oh my God, well, we're in the fan club. I guess that means we like them.
Such a humorless.
And then it's like, have you seen what group you're in? Oh my God, they were pissed. It was just multiple people so pissed.
So
I'm thrilled that you joined the I pissed off the U2 fan club.
No, I've talked about the fan groups that I'm in, the main ones, the main bands that I'm in. My top 3 bands are U2, Rush, and Tool. I've talked about that. So I'm in all 3. They have different fan groups, and they're extremely different. So brief brush up for people just joining us. The Tool group will get into these huge fiery discussions about how Tool is the greatest band and all the other bands suck. I think that's kind of funny in and of itself.
Yeah.
U2 is annoyingly worshipful of the band and Bono in particularly. Bono saved my life because I was driving my car off a cliff and I heard Mysterious Ways and I want to live.
Right.
I want Edge to baptize my baby.
Yeah.
All these things okay.
I'm going to name my kid
I'm not going to name my
Edge.
kid. One kid and the other kid Edge.
Yes.
All this stuff. And then the Rush fan group is my favorite one because nobody ever posts unless a reissue comes out and then some guy will say, hey, this band put out an album. Everybody's like, yeah, we know. It's awesome. And then nobody says anything for another year. I love that. So anyway, I go into the U2 group and there's been a lot of talk about the new album that's coming out next weekend,
40.
SOS, Songs of Surrender.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And the U2 groups, I've talked about it on this podcast before, are split. There's people that are so excited for it, they think it's going to actually make them pregnant as they listen to it.
I love this song so much, I'm going to make it pregnant.
And then there's another group that thinks it heralds the coming of Satan himself. Like this album will destroy the earth.
Yeah.
There's no one, it seems, in between.
Yeah.
There's also this group, the U2 group, this may surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
They are exceptionally touchy about the topic of U2 forcing an album onto the Apple
I remember that.
You remember that happened?
I do, very well.
The Songs of Innocence album was
end of the
forced
world.
onto the Apple, and everybody, I mean, it made universal news. They were talking about it at Alpha Centauri. They were like, what in the, I can't speak Alpha Centaurian, but you know what I'm saying.
I can read Alpha Centaurian, but I can't speak it.
I don't know if you know this about me. I'm an asshole.
You have your days.
I like to piss people off and sit back and just kind of watch the fireworks.
Uh-huh.
It amuses me.
Yeah.
So a brilliant idea popped up. Why don't I posit the idea of U2 forcing Songs of Surrender onto an Apple platform?
Yeah.
And talk about how hilarious that would be.
Yeah.
So I posted that. Less than a second later, I swear.
What the hell did you just say?
Somebody in the thing said, oh my gosh, I wish people would just let this rest or something like that.
Just let it lie.
And then who responds to that but my wife? Oh, what do you mean by that?
Oh, you don't piss off your wife.
I'm just sick of people talking. And so they're going back and forth. I'm like, my Lord, I have pissed this group off and gotten my wife involved in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It was glorious. It made me so happy. I will report back, now that the comment's been out there for a while, the vast majority of people have seen it and given the laughy thing.
Yeah.
There's been a few people that just they've taken the opportunity to yell out, I love Bono, which is how that group is. It doesn't matter. I could go on there and talk about how my monkey has full-blown thrice.
Yes.
And I'm worried about it. And someone would say, the Edge is wonderful. And, it's how it is. But I was proud of myself for pissing them off.
Well, good. And speaking of U2, on St. Patrick's Day, David Letterman, my hero, is going to be interviewing Bono and the Edge in Dublin, and there's going to be a very special performance. It's going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And Mike and I are going to be live streaming that. And you can go to our Facebook page, you can go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and you can get all the deets, the funky deets on that. And
we'll put something up on the Facebook page, but basically we can't technically broadcast what Disney is broadcasting.
Right. We can broadcast us watching.
If you have Disney Plus, you can sync that up with, we'll tell you when we're starting it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, you just have us on and have that on. It'll be like you're watching it with us.
Yeah.
It'll be really weird, but it could be fun.
You have the internet here, don't
you?
We
have Netscape.
Okay.
We got rid of the Prodigy because we're not a cavemen.
Yeah. But I was watching some of their previous performances and appearances on David Letterman.
Oh.
And did you see when all 4 of them were there doing the top 10 list?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And, Adam said that, people send him videos all the time thinking that they're YouTube.
Yeah.
But the funniest was when The Edge said, cool name, The Edge, uncool name, Sting. And it was supposed to be The Itch. Yeah. So they're funny.
Didn't they stay on the show for like a week? They would come back every night.
Yeah, they did every night. And they did 4 songs off of...
Was All That You Can't Leave Behind?
No.
Was it Beautiful Day and all that?
No, they did Beautiful Day, but they did 4 songs off of their album, which was Songs of Experience, I think.
Oh. Okay.
Or maybe the one before that. What was the one before that?
No Line on the Horizon.
No Line on the Horizon.
Yeah, Magnificent.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I'm going to go crazy if we don't go crazy tonight.
Get Your Boots On. That thing.
Yeah, so they did 4 songs off of that, and then on the Friday was when they did Beautiful Day.
Okay.
So
yeah,
they did a top 10 list. They acted like they were filling potholes out on the street. So they broke out their comedy skills.
Yeah,
and it was a good time.
Yeah, they like to do weird things. I think Fallon, on his show, they dressed up as some other band and they were playing in the subway, New York subways, and
Yeah, their very first TV appearance was on the Tom Snyder Show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Late Show with Tom Snyder forever ago.
Okay.
No. It was late. No, what was the hell is it? It was the Tom Snyder, the Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder.
Longtime fan, my brother-in-law Jim Boyce.
Yep.
Introduced me to a show that was on in the 80s/90s called Night Flight.
Okay.
It was kind of like an MTV, but then there would be on it every once in a while. Okay.
Yeah.
And they had a U2 extravaganza, and they showed an entire War concert, which was weird, like something I'd never seen. I'm like, how the hell did they get this footage? Where did this come from? But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another fun thing that they did during the Joshua Tree, one of the shows, they opened for themselves. They dressed up in country and they played country. I forget the name of
the Something Brothers.
Yeah, the Something Brothers. I have Soggy Bottom Boys stuck in my head, but that's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
They did Man of Constant Sorrow. Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Isuzu Trooper 2. Now, during the Isuzu Invitational, you can save big for 1988. Trooper 2 has 4-wheel disc brakes and Cherokee doesn't. Trooper 2, the one you want for 1988. Now, back to the show.
So how was Creed 3?
Creed 3 was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't remember Creed 2.
Okay.
I liked Creed 1 better.
Yeah.
The whole family is a Rocky fan. I think I've talked about before. That's become our holiday tradition. We watch all the Rocky movies. So, of course, when Creed 3 was announced, Charlie is a huge Creed fan.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, we're going to go see it." Of course, we're going to go see it.
Yeah.
So we go see it. It was in the Dolby Atmos theater.
Okay.
With the sound,
Yeah.
which is the way to go see it.
I love seeing a movie with sound. Because the talkies are fine. But it's like if you can't read.
Yeah. The seats vibrate. They kind of move. They like this. So in the fight scenes, the punches are loud. Like, it actually hurt my ears. Yes, it hurt my ears. But the seat would move too when you get hit. So it's almost like an interactive experience. But then there's a lot of music in the movie as well.
Yeah.
It sounds great. I'm not so sure. I need to go back and watch Creed 2.
Yeah.
Something that bothered me about this is it almost felt like it was Creed / Rocky by the numbers. It's almost like somebody said, okay, we got to have a motivation.
Yeah.
Now we got to have a reason for somebody's going to die close to him.
It was totally, they used the same formula.
Yeah, you got to win this, and here's the guy, and here's the thing, and here's going to do the thing.
Rocky basically played Mickey in the Creed films.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you remember, it was very reminiscent of Rocky 3. Remember, Rocky 3 was with Clubber Lang. He actually gets beat and then comes back and fights. So it's similar, but you see the other guy is, I can't remember his name, Diamond something. He's the guy, is
it Diamond Dallas Page?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's
a wrestler,
Kang.
right?
It's Kang the Conqueror.
Oh, okay.
That guy.
Oh, I know. I know his name, but I can't remember.
Yeah. I now see him as menacing. All through Quantum Mania, when I saw him, I can't. This dude is goofy. I can't. Thanos was huge and purple. and looked mean. This guy does not. I mean, his face goes blue and he gets mad and screams. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, he didn't seem menacing. In Creed 3, he seems like he could just destroy anybody.
Yeah.
So they need to have Creed 3 become part of the Marvel universe so people get scared of Kang. But so what I'm talking about in the going Creed by numbers. So spoiler, if you don't want Creed 3 spoilers, go forward about 5 minutes or something. I don't know. But
pause. Yeah. Go see the movie. And
so he wins a fight and becomes the heavyweight champion. He has nothing and becomes the heavyweight champion. The very next scene, he's in this mansion. He's drinking out of like these gold cups. He's got some wife there that you've never seen before.
Right.
And he's talking smack to Creed.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you guys skipped a whole lot to get there.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, it seems like it's 5 months after that. And then they're getting ready to fight. And they do a montage.
Well, you got to have a montage.
I don't want to be disrespectful.
Did they play No Easy Way Out?
No.
Okay.
But when Sylvester Stallone does a I'm working out montage,
he kicks ass.
That's half the fun of a Rocky movie. It's like, my God, he's lifting a log with his ear.
Yeah.
Like he's... And I'm not putting down, it's Michael B. Jordan and whoever's playing Kang. They show them doing their things. But it was, running, which, they always show running.
Yes.
Sit-ups and sparring.
Yeah.
And
punch,
but
duck,
where are you lifting a log with your nose?
The punching bag.
Where are you punching a dead cow?
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like
you're gonna break all the ribs. You're breaking the ribs.
Part of the fun of a Rocky montage was it answers the question: what the gonna do? Hit next, or what is he? Why is he doing? He's wrapping nails in his fist and punching himself in the cheek. Is that supposed to help? What is he? I don't. It's an extended cut.
Okay.
Anyway,
we went into Jean-Claude Van Damme where he's at the ropes. And he puts a broken glass.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was cool. The fight scenes were really cool. They did this thing where it was interesting. Somewhere along the way, an art house director got a hold of it. Michael B. Jordan directed it himself.
Yes, he did.
They're doing the fight in front of the whole crowd, and they do this thing where all the crowd disappears, and it's just them in the ring, one-on-one.
Slow motion.
Fighting and that stuff.
Yeah, you know why, Mike?
Why?
Because that's the only person you need to be concerned with.
I know. And there was part of me, at the instant they did that, I was like, that's pretty cool. And then about 5 to 10 seconds later, I'm like, oh, they're going to stay here. That's how they're going to do okay. Really?
Yeah.
Really? We're not going to see the whole crowd?
Yeah.
Did you forget to pay the bills and you can't pay all the extras?
They only had it for a day. New union rules.
It took something out of it.
Well, COVID. Yeah.
And I don't know. I felt like they were checking the boxes. It was still a good movie.
Yeah.
Maybe if I hadn't seen all the other Rockies and Creeds and this was my first one in that thing, I would have liked it more. It's also kind of hard to root for Creed. He's already on top of the world. He has like a weird pool table.
Yeah.
He's got all of his belts. Everything's glass. And he's, walking around in clothes that cost more than my life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can root for him because they do a good job of giving you a reason to root for him. But in Rocky, you remember Rocky lost everything and then had to come back.
Yes.
And he still never really got all the way back.
Right.
Creed just kind of still has everything. And it's like, okay, it's not much of a...
Well, and then in Creed 3... I mean, I didn't go see it because I don't have an extra $100 on me. Stallone's not in it.
Yeah.
Stallone has problems
is absolutely against it. He got pushed out or something happened. I don't know what happened.
I think he is his choice not to be in it because he still has a problem with Irving
Winkler.
Is that Irving Winkler?
He played the Fonz.
Yeah, no, that was Henry Winkler.
Okay,
yeah,
Irving's his brother.
He still has a problem with them because whatever. I'm not going to get into.
You can tell Stallone's not in it. I could. Yeah. I mean, well, you don't see him,
and Stallone was the heart of it.
He was
the heart of the first two Creed movies.
And that's what this one lacked, was the heart. And I'm not saying that Michael B. Jordan doesn't have heart, because he does.
I like him.
I like him
a lot.
In Creed 1.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember Creed 2. I don't know what I was doing while it was on. I'm sure it was wonderful. In my view, the Rocky movies with the most heart is the first one and Rocky Balboa, the very last.
I can stand by that, yeah.
And then in Creed, I think Creed 1 is up there with the best Rocky movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
This one just didn't He wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to totally spoil a movie.
Okay.
And this is something that you haven't seen, I'm certain. And this is a complete spoiler alert because I think, much like The Menu, which I talked about not last week, but the week before, The Menu had so many stupid, crazy things happen in it that I felt is more entertaining telling the story of what happened than actually watching the movie.
Okay.
But I was on the HBO Plus.
Max.
And thank you. Mm-hmm. And The Banshees of Inisherin is on there. Okay. It stars Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and it's set in Ireland.
Who is Brendan Gleeson?
Brendan Gleeson is he's been around forever, and you'll look at him, you're like, oh, that's that guy who, he's and right now I can't remember.
Is he the red haired guy? Like 23 Days Later? He's that old guy. Okay.
No. He is an older guy. I don't know. His hair's all pulled back and kind of greasy looking.
Okay,
but it's set in the 20s.
Okay, roaring 20s
in Ireland. Okay, and there's a civil war going on in Ireland.
Okay,
and they live off the coast of the mainland. Okay, in this very, very, very small little farm town where you walk everywhere you go, and it's all gravel roads and brick.
Okay, and they find a ring.
They do not.
Okay.
I was thinking you were right, but then I realized that you were not right. So Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Colin is named Patrick.
Because Colin wasn't Irish enough.
No. Okay. And then Brendan's name is Colm. 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 I've never heard of a character named Colm.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Colin, but it's Colm.
Yeah.
So they're friends.
I already don't like this movie.
Okay. Like I said.
It's like when we watched Hunger Games, the one of the characters' name is Peta. It's not Peter. Just call him Peter. It's Peta.
Yeah. So Patrick goes to see Colm one day. Okay. And he's knocking on his door and says, hey, you going to go to the pub? We're going to go to the pub and have a pint?
Sounds exactly.
Let's go to the pub and have a pint.
Find my Lucky Charms. Yeah.
And he won't look at the window. He won't come out. He won't answer him. He won't respond. Brendan Gleeson's character just ignores Colin Farrell completely. He says, okay, well, I'll see you up there then. All right? I'll see you up there at the pub for a pint. Yeah? Pub, at the pub. At the point, Yeah. So he goes up there. Then, it's like, oh my God, 15 minutes later or something. He's like, hey, is there a problem? And he says, yeah, I don't want to be friends with you no more.
Oh, Colm is saying, I don't want to be friends with Patrick.
Yeah, Colm tells Patrick, I don't want to be friends with you no more. He says, why? And he goes, I just don't want you to ever talk to me again.
Because he doesn't like his name. It's a stupid name.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No stupider than Colm. But he says, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. He never explains why he doesn't want to be friends with him anymore. And he says, well, why not? Was it something I said? No.
Yeah.
I just don't talk to me ever again.
That's how this podcast is going to end.
Yes. I was thinking the same. I'm sitting there and I'm laughing watching this movie going, one of these days I'm going to drive over to Mike's house and Mike's going to go, I don't want you coming around here anymore. I'm like, why? And finally he said, because you're dull.
Dull.
I think you're dull.
Oh.
And I'm wasting all my time with this nonsense chattering with you. And that reminded me more of us.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I thought we were having just good chatting. Yeah. No, it's just nonsense chattering. I'm like, my God, we've got 133 episodes of nonsense chattering.
This is the story of us right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Except we're not Irish.
Right.
It keeps escalating and escalating. We never find out why Colm no longer wants to be friends with Patrick. He didn't have a mental breakdown. He said that, it's like, I'm just wasting time. And he kept saying, no one's going to remember me 50 or 100 years from now. And so he's trying to write some music, and then maybe people remember him for his music. Whatever.
What's that got to do with?
I don't know. Paddington. He plays a fiddle.
Yeah. Oh.
And so he thought he'll write the song on the fiddle, and maybe he'll be known for his music or something.
Huh.
But he doesn't explain ever why he no longer wants to be friends with this guy who he's been friends with for ever.
Now, is this because you're an idiot that you didn't see the reason, or do they honestly not tell you? Did you watch this with an adult?
No, I watched it. I am an adult.
Okay.
I watched it with myself, so yes. No, and
Libby didn't watch
honest
this
to God, man, get out of my head. Because I was going to ask the question, am I too stupid to enjoy these movies that everybody else is enjoying? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh my God, people are raving.
Oh, I want to see that.
They're raving. They absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
The Menu. A friend of mine said it's one of the best movies he's seen in many years. Again, I did not get it.
Yeah.
The Banshees of Inisherin is nominated for 9 Academy Awards. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Supporting Actor, another Supporting Actor,
Lord.
Actress, or Supporting Actress Screenplay.
Okay.
And like 2 other things. Okay, now granted, the movie is beautiful.
Is that why you wanted to watch it? Because it was nominated for all these things?
Because I always watch the Oscars.
Okay.
And I like to see what's
okay. So you could interact with the show when
so I
it
can
comes
go,
on.
oh, that should have won.
Yeah.
Right. And because when something wins and I haven't seen it, I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't see it.
Can I ask you the question?
Yeah.
If the guy if Paddington wins for the thing,
Paddington.
and he gets up and he's doing his speech, and he's like, "We never said why he's not my friend, and you guys still like the movie." If he just completely, would that? You'd be
also,
like, "Yeah."
Also, they never they don't say they say, "Why are you bothering me? You gotta get out of my way. I'm drinking my pint." No, at one point he has his pint at the bar. Okay,
as one does.
And Colm tells Patrick, "Go away," and he goes, "I'm not going away. I've got my pint here. I had my pint here before you got here." And the bartender says, "Yeah, that's where he put his pint."
You're getting better at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's where he put his pint. Mark it to 0, Smokey. You can't move. He put his pint there.
Okay, so you know these. You have these things where like they'll do it on YouTube. Is they'll go get like a bottle of Boone's Farm and they'll put it in a fancy bottle or something, and they'll have like wine connoisseurs and they'll come over and they'll say, "Oh, it's got an oaky whatever," and then it's like, "Dude, this is $2. This is hobo's ass wine."
Hobo's ass.
Is it possible that they're doing a movie like that, like a completely nonsense movie to win everything, so they can say, "Look, you guys have no idea.
You guys will absorb anything."
Oh my
gosh! So and it gets worse.
Okay.
And again, I'm going to spoil this for you people.
Okay.
It gets worse.
All right.
Colm finally tells Patrick. He says, "You come here one more time. You say one more thing to me. I'm going to cut off my finger. Okay? If you say one more word to me, I'll cut off my finger."
Okay.
And he plays the fiddle.
Other. Okay.
Exactly.
So what the hell?
So it's something. Oh my God! It's like, and it's an island, and it's in the 20s, and they keep walking here, and they walk there, and they walk here, and they walk there. Did I mention that Patrick has a donkey? He likes to walk around. He likes to bring the donkey in the house.
Is it voiced by Chris Rock?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
He likes to bring the donkey in his house, and his sister Shabon, get that donkey out of my house.
Shabon.
Yeah, Shabon is her name.
Yeah.
I liked her.
Okay.
And I liked the donkey. The donkey was my favorite part of the movie. Something happened, and
you gotta tell me what happened.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
But something happened on the island to one of the guys whose father is a police officer, and Patrick goes to talk to Colm. He says, "Hey, how about that thing that happened? Whatever. Oh yeah, all right. I'll talk to you later. Maybe we'll get a pint later." And he leaves. The next thing you know, Colm walks to Patrick's house. He had cut off his finger and he threw it at the door. Patrick is there in his house.
This is like Airplane.
Yeah. Boom. He hears this. What the hell was that? Bloody hell. And he looks, and there's a finger on the ground, a bloody finger that he had cut off and threw at his door.
Wow.
And then he proceeds to walk up to the pub, and he gets a pint, and he's sitting there drinking a pint while his finger is cut off and he's bleeding everywhere. And he says, and they're like, "Does that not hurt?" "Oh, it hurt at first, but it doesn't bother me now."
Wow.
And he said, "And if you keep talking to me, I'll cut off the rest of me fingers."
Okay.
So what does he do? Spoiler alert, he cuts off the rest of his fingers, all 5 of them.
Okay.
And he goes and he throws them all in his house. Now,
okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
One of the fingers that was on the ground, the donkey finds it, eats it, chokes, dies. The donkey dies.
I liked the donkey.
Patrick comes home and goes, "Oh, Jenny." Oh, and he's heartbroken.
Yeah.
He's just crushed. "Oh, Jenny." Oh, and there's like a 10-minute scene with him digging the grave, and he buries the donkey.
So the donkey's name was Jenny, not Shia LaBeouf or Shabouf.
Not Shabon was his sister.
Shabon. Yeah, okay.
Shabon was his sister.
Okay.
And the town kid who's not all there has the hots for Shabon.
Okay.
Another spoiler. Patrick goes to see Colm again. He says, "Tonight, I'm going to burn your whole house down. If you're in it, so be it.
Oh,
if not,
my Lord."
And what does he do? He goes in and he burns down his house. He takes his dog.
Sounds like the best
He takes his
movie.
dog
Okay.
and he brings him home so that he doesn't want to hurt the dog.
Yeah.
And he burns the guy's house to the ground.
Okay.
Well, he burns. It's like made out of all brick.
Okay.
But he burns the guy's house.
Yeah, guts it. Is he in it? Is the guy in it?
No, he goes back the next morning and he's standing there, no fingers.
Yeah.
Looking at the ocean, and he says, "Thanks for watching my dog." And he says, "Anytime." And then the credits rolled.
Hey, what happened?
Nominated for 9 Academy Awards. The Banshees of Inisherin.
Wow.
Don't believe me.
Wow.
I think I think people could still watch it, clearly knowing what's going to happen.
Is the Banshees of Inisherin is it a folk tale and this is a modern retelling? You know, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Right. No, it wasn't based on anything.
No, really.
It's nominated for Best Screenplay, by the way. And so the guy's sitting there going, okay, so what does he do now? Oh, he cuts off all his fingers and he throws them at his house. And then the donkey dies. Oh, yeah. Type. Yeah. And again, I'm watching it. I'm like, 9 Academy Awards. How you doing? Am I too stupid to understand independent films anymore?
Now I don't want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
But now I do.
Yeah.
Because I want to know if you're too stupid or if I'm too stupid. I'm willing to admit if I'm too stupid.
I went to college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a career.
Yeah.
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 Am I the smartest person in the world? No. But I, by no shot of a doubt,
you should be able to watch a movie about a donkey and a finger.
Yeah. I don't think I'm stupid.
Okay.
I really don't. I know that occasionally I make mistakes and I do dumb things.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't?
But I'm watching this like, I don't get it. And it reminded me of The Menu. Because remember a couple weeks ago I talked about The Menu, and I know exactly now what The Menu did. In The Menu, they spent all that time telling everybody that all that happening in the restaurant was part of the experience.
Uh-huh.
And there's one part of the movie where the guy was supposed to serve bread, and he says, and because of the way that the world is right now, there will be no bread. No bread. So for the second portion of your meal where there's supposed to be bread, there's no bread.
Okay.
And half the people are like, where's my bread? But the other half of the crowd is going, this is amazing. This is brilliant. We're not going to have bread. And they're like, wow, I've never known anybody to do this. And it's all part of the experience. So I think independent films now are using the term independent film as an excuse to do anything despite plausibility.
So I've done pulling I'm pulling the, what's that called?
The hammer?
I'm pulling the hammer.
Okay.
I'm got on Wikipedia.
Okay.
It's a black tragicomedy mental war film.
Okay.
Mental War.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson. Let me just take a second here to see what Brendan Gleeson. Oh, it is the guy. It's the guy from 23 Days.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to look here. 9 nominations.
9 Academy Award nominations.
Plot.
It's probably going to win a few.
Yeah, let me see here.
Yeah.
Reception. It's grossed $10.5 million in the U.S., $36.1 million other territories. Worldwide total of $46.6.
Yeah.
We had $148,000 for 4 theaters. Okay.
Yeah. It's a beautiful movie.
96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
On Rotten Tomatoes. 96%.
Average rating of 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Let me see what some of the...
Yeah.
It's a study of male loneliness and swallowed anger. It is weirdly compelling and often very funny. Did you laugh?
I did laugh at a few times.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the Irish people, they keep saying pub and blank.
A simple and diabolical tale of a friendship's end shot through with bristling humor and sudden moments of startling violence, cutting off the fingers and choking donkeys.
Yeah. But here's my thing. If we had gotten... Like, I allowed room for this particular part of the movie to happen.
Yeah.
If we had, 45 minutes into it, if he had said, look, I have, they found a tumor in my brain.
Okay.
Or something, anything. But it was just like night and day, the two of them being best friends who went to the pub every day at 2 o'clock for a pint.
Yeah.
If you and I went to the pub every day at 2 o'clock for years, sat together, had a pint, and shared conversations like we do once a week.
You're basically describing this podcast.
And then one day you're like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
You don't talk to me ever again or I'll cut off my finger.
Okay.
It's like, there's got to be a reason for that.
Is it kind of seem like I'm hurting myself? I'm like, I don't know.
Self-loathing? Yeah, or something.
It's worth noting a short story trying to be a novel. So these are not so nice reviews because that's the nice thing about Wikipedia is they'll go on the other side.
Yeah.
The metaphor, it's a metaphor for the Irish Civil War, awfully flat-footed. Okay, so one side is harming itself just to harm the other side. Is that kind of an undercurrent?
Yeah.
I'm going to cut my finger.
Yeah, because Colin Farrell's character, Patrick, was heartbroken
Okay.
The entire movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he did do a good job acting because he's like, I can't figure out why he won't talk to me.
See, I think I get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a chortle movie. You know what I mean by when I say a chortle movie?
Means. No.
So you got your movies that you laugh your balls off at,
right?
Because they're stupid. And I'll throw Anchorman, anything that Will Ferrell has done. I love Will Ferrell to death.
Okay.
But just about anything that he's done, you got the blah, blah, blah in your face. So you've got the, I put the airplane movies kind of in the same thing. But then you've got the chortle movies like, well, yes. Yes, I see it. Oh, if you look at the mustache, you can tell that is a symbolic.
It's a metaphor.
For
how she wants
symbolic of Rutherford B. Hayes.
Yes,
and how he treated his third dog on the morrow. Oh,
indeed.
Oh,
yes, indeed.
Yeah. I think it's one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
After this, we'll watch Les Mis to raise the.
And then perhaps we'll have some sherry. The haberdashery. Yes, of course. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I
play a spot of tea.
I don't
play
I don't
tea.
know.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I think that might be what that is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
See.
And you know what? It's like a few months ago when I watched Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, that was nominated
for
a load
pizza
of Academy Awards.
I don't.
And this thing happened.
You need to stop watching things just because they're nominated.
And then this thing, but I mean, it had a lot of actors in it that I like.
Okay, I like Colin Farrell. I like both of them.
The trailer looked really good for Licorice Pizza.
Can I tell you something?
And I like the screenwriter.
I didn't want to be mean to you. It's weird. Like this weird thing. I was like, I don't want to be mean.
Wow.
I came so close. I actually wrote the comment and then I didn't post it.
Yeah.
The book was better.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. And back in my 20s, I made a pretty good living stripping wallpaper, and I always used Diff. I remember thinking that I could use an inferior product, take twice the time, and make more money. But honesty runs deep in my blood, and I'm brand loyal. I stand by Diff until the end of time. Diff, the only one that really works. Back to you, Mike and Darren.
I want to throw something else out here real quick.
Okay.
This is a trailer. Thank you again, AMC, no, it's not AMC, it's the movie Hollywood, putting a Scream 6 trailer in front of
a family
Creed.
film.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of Nicole Kidman and all her bull.
I agree.
It's an experience. The theater was packed.
Even if it was amazing, like do it again with George Clooney. Somebody else.
I don't want to see. First of all, it's creepy. She's sitting in the theater by herself, smiling.
Talking about how great the movie experience is. Yeah, it's like I'm glad you can afford to rent the theater out to yourself.
So the way the scene is put together, I have my back to the screen, which means I'm standing up in front of the screen, and she's talking about it's real. I was like, well, this is creepy and off.
And by the way, she sat in that one theater for Creed, Jurassic World,
all of them.
Wonder Woman,
life, lady.
Yeah, it's like, who has? Did you really sit there 9 hours watching movies?
So, Creed was packed. Every seat was just full.
Okay,
and when she came on the screen, when that little snippet came on the screen, there was audible groaning, laughing, and come on. People are sick of the Nicole Kidman thing.
Yeah. I mean, also, like we said last week, they've already watched 25 minutes of trailers, and now they got to watch one other thing. It's like, start the movie.
So having said all that, though, one of the trailers that we saw is for a movie, got my attention. It's a horror movie. By the way, don't watch a horror movie trailer in the Dolby Atmos theater. It scared the when glass crashes near your head, it does sound like glass is crashing right near your head and jump scares. And I was about to have a heart attack. It looked really cool. And then everything went black and it said, from the mind of Stephen King. I was like, oh, here we go. Because Stephen King is my jam. He's one of my jams.
Yeah.
And then a few more things. And then it went black again. It said, and the producers of Stranger Things. So Stranger Things borrows heavily
from whatever brothers.
Yeah. From Stephen King. There's all kinds of Stephen King all through Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one. And it looked, it's called The Boogeyman.
Okay.
So here's the deal. That's a stupid title if anybody but Stephen King does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if any band other than Led Zeppelin wrote a song called Rock and Roll, you'd be like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
But Led Zeppelin has a song called Rock and Roll, and you're like,
They do. I think that's my favorite.
They pretty much know what they're talking about here. And so when it's Boogeyman by Stephen King,
now, did they use Rob Zombie's cover of I'm Your Boogeyman?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
I love that.
They use the, like I said, sounds of crashing and wood slamming against trees and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It looked really cool, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should check it out. We're on cable access television now.
Yeah.
At
We'd
Dayton,
like to
Ohio.
welcome our Dayton viewers.
Hey, everybody there in Dayton. How you doing? If you want to watch
it, may be the cheesiest thing I've done in the past 10 years.
No, if you want to watch this show, the raw version of it, you can go to www.mvcc.video.
Correct.
Okay. And then you can watch us live or do yourself a favor, really, and click on anything they happen to be running. I did this the other night, and there was like 3 half-hour versions of homemade Star Wars movies.
Oh, no.
And the stormtroopers, I sent you a picture of the stormtroopers.
Yes.
The stormtroopers took looked like paper grocery bags, cut like shoulder holes, and put them on their head, painted them white, and spray painted the stormtrooper
That's all
thing.
you need. That's all you need.
Hilarious. I mean, they stole the pew pew and but I mean, the acting was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it like this is just endlessly entertaining for as bad as it was. But now our lead-in on Monday nights is a guy named William Pace, and he sings all the time. And occasionally he will read viewer mail, and he has interviews on there sometimes. So he's our lead-in. But sometimes there's a show called Chick-A-Go-Go.
Chick-A-Go-Go,
which is a dancing show, fun for all ages. But yeah, go to mvcc.video and watch anything you want on cable access because it is hysterically funny.
It's time now for the Kroger Story of the Week.
I was at Kroger, and which is why I'm telling the story of the week. Had to run into the bathroom real quick, and I'm in there, and there's a guy at the urinal, so I took the stall.
Yeah.
Using the bathroom, and he's still there. I come out, I'm washing my hands, and he looks at me and he says, that beer goes right through you.
Broke about 3 rules of bathroom etiquette right there.
It's like you're at a grocery store, okay?
Yeah.
You hear that at the bar all the time. I don't know if you have, but I've heard that 1,000 times at the bar. And that's because there's a crowbar.
Yeah, the crowbar right
so
there.
The guy's hammered.
Plus, I don't need a status report on what's happening with you at the urinal.
I don't know you, man.
It's pretty
I've never met you.
Yeah. Unless you're facing me, I don't need to talk about whatever it is that you're doing.
But that bear goes right through you. Thank you.
Yeah. So we found out that the crowbar closes at 9 p.m.
Okay.
And the reason we found that out is because we out at dinner with our friends, we finished, we had to get out of there, but we wanted to keep talking to them. Yeah. And we're like, oh, we have to go to the crowbar. So we were all jacked up to go to the crowbar. Turns out it was closing.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
Kroger stays open till like midnight or something, doesn't it?
Why
wouldn't the crowbar stay open?
It used to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They don't have like real bartenders. They have just like Carol from the aisle 3 comes over.
From the produce department. Once you're done blocking the aisles, we need you to pour some taps.
Yeah, because I remember we asked, I was like, what can we do with it? You can do whatever you want to do with the beer. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we pay you now? Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
My buddy Donna Janine came to visit last weekend, and I was talking about the bar with inside the grocery store, and she didn't believe me. I said, yeah, I put my beer on a cantaloupe. You did what? Yeah, sure did. We were sitting there touching cereal boxes, drinking beer.
Yeah.
And she was mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been the Kroger Story of the Week.
I got a question. You mentioned earlier
the
Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, I want to know when everything else started becoming part of a universe. Okay, 1923 is badass.
Okay.
It's on Paramount Plus, starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
Oh yeah, that's in the Yellowstone universe.
It's in the Yellowstone universe. I was watching something on the YouTubes, and they said, 1883, and this is all part of the Yellowstone universe. Like, the show's set in Montana.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a universe. That's like saying that Frasier was part of the Cheers universe, or Laverne and Shirley was part of the Happy Days universe.
Well, it is.
I know that it is, but
I know when that started and why. I actually know the answer to this question.
Okay, when did it start?
I don't know.
Did it start? You just said you knew.
It started with comic books.
Okay.
It used to be you had your Superman comic books, you've got your Batman comic books, you've got your, in DC, and you got your Spider-Man. You know what I'm talking about.
Thor.
But then the comic book sales started to go down. So like, okay, we need to put these two together.
Okay.
We're shutting down the Spider-Man division. Mm-hmm. The Thor people are now going to do Spider-Man or whatever. We're going to put Spider-Man and Thor together. That's where the Avengers came from, the Justice League and all that. Because they weren't selling comic books. And I'm like, we'll put these together. And they got boosts from doing that.
Yeah, do a crossover episode.
And then the timelines and all that crap was because, they get tired of we've kind of written ourselves into a corner.
Yeah.
So let's boot it all up and start it all up again. I think the same thing applies for all these other things, the different universes.
Yeah.
So the people that made Yellowstone want to do another, that I'm assuming it's a Western. I haven't seen it.
It's so good.
I want to watch it.
1923 is so good. And I haven't watched one episode of Yellowstone.
It's like if we ever do another podcast, which I think we will at some point. It's like if we make a all movies podcast or an all music podcast.
It'll be part of the Irritable Dad Syndrome universe.
It'd be part of the Irritable Dad universe or the penultimate universe.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then we'll have like that with the papers and pictures of us going, quack.
So pictures of us going, Quacker the Duck will be there. Dave Lay will be there.
Hi, I'm Dave Lay.
Yeah. So you don't have to you don't have to rebuild all the fan base. Then, like in the case of 1923, you don't have to say. Which, by the way, you shouldn't have to say anything other than Harrison Ford Western, and that's it.
Right.
But you can also say. As seen on Yellowstone, or and with the opportunity that maybe Kevin Costner is taking a whiz by a tree in one of the episodes.
I want you to watch 1923 so bad because there is a scene in that series that I will not spoil. I'll gladly spoil Banshees of Inisherin.
Okay,
there's a scene in 1923 that is so brutal, and you're like, oh, you're squirming, right? You're almost covering your eyes, and then you're like, good, and then it's like I'm going to hell because I am happy that person did that to that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
And I've never seen anybody do that to another person before.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It was. I was like, wow, they invented another way to kill somebody.
Well, Darren, I'm nothing if not a purist.
Stump Woodley, Mad About You is part of the Friends universe. That's right.
Yeah.
Phoebe and her twin sister worked on Mad About You.
What was it? The Jeffersons was
part of the All in the Family universe.
Yeah. Yellowstone.
So was Maude.
You don't watch Yellowstone.
I have not watched Yellowstone.
See, I feel like I should have to watch Yellowstone before I watch 1923. Right?
Well, our good friend Leslie said that you should because you get some of the callbacks.
Yeah, because you get those moments. I'm thinking of the meme with Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's pointing at the screen, going, "I know that."
Yeah.
Those things you get excited. Like in Better Call Saul, I'll use something we're both familiar with.
That's part of the Breaking Bad universe,
right? When Mike shows up. Or when Tuco shows up, if no one's ever seen Breaking Bad, it's just another guy.
Right.
But when we see it, we're like, "Oh, dude, it's freaking Tuco!"
Right.
So I'm wondering, there's probably things happening in 1923 that are going over your head.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's like I don't have Paramount Plus. No, I do have Paramount Plus. I don't have Peacock.
Is what's
Peacock is the NBC streaming service.
So
I don't have Peacock.
Yellowstone is only on Peacock?
Yellowstone is on Peacock. The prequels are on Paramount.
So why you got to put them on a different network?
Whatever. Well, we have Paramount, so I'll probably do the same thing you're doing then.
Was King of Queens part of the Everybody Loves Raymond universe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I know they crossed over. Him and Kevin James were on an episode.
Price is Right was part of the Wheel of Fortune universe.
No, it wasn't. If Chuck Woolery and Pat Sajak got in a fight, who would win?
Pat Sajak.
You think so?
Have you seen it? Is that still Vanna White that's turning the numbers? Have you? I saw it the other night. It's still on.
They put her in kryptonite.
Yeah,
she's cryogenically frozen overnight to keep her preserved.
I think that long microphone that was used on whatever the hell that is, Price is Right.
No. Well, Bob Barker.
Yeah, it was forged on the Wheel of Fortune wheel.
Yeah.
There's a lost episode. Elves.
Match Game. The Match Game with Gene Rayburn.
Yeah, I never
Gene Rayburn had that 6 foot long microphone on the Match Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for the Owen Wilson, the painting movie?
Where he's Bob Ross?
Is it Bob Ross? It's not Bob Ross in the movie, but is that...
Well, I mean,
it's some other painter, and I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, they're said like the most famous painter from Pennsylvania, right?
It had to have been Bob.
Is that
Ross.
what they said?
I don't know.
But he looks just like Bob Ross, and he acts like Bob Ross. But the Bob Ross show was recorded out of Indiana.
If it's like he's a stand-in for Bob Ross, if they're trying to make a Bob Ross movie, but they can't call it Bob Ross because the Bob Ross estate is against that or whatever, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But if it's a whole other painter that was kind of did the same Bob Ross thing, I'm not cool with that. You need to do the Bob Ross story.
Yeah.
Everybody sees that, and everybody thinks the same thing that you're thinking. Like before they said what his name was in the trailer, I'm like, it's Bob. They're making a Bob Ross movie.
Did you know that Bob Ross's people completely shut his son out of his fortune?
Why?
Bob Ross's son gets nothing.
What the hell?
Nothing. There's a documentary on Netflix. Really good. You wouldn't think a documentary about Bob Ross would be entertaining. And well, it's not so much entertaining, but it's interesting and it's worth a watch. But yeah, he got screwed out of none of the royalties. I have a Bob Ross T-shirt that I got for Christmas before I knew. I mean, I probably still got one because I think it's pretty cool. I look badass when I wear my Bob Ross shirt, especially with my Eddie Vedder jacket, as you called it earlier. Yeah, his son gets nothing.
That's bull. That's like when I heard that Gilligan. The same thing happened with Gilligan.
Oh, really?
I mean, he didn't get paid anything. He didn't get any. I mean, when you think of what the hell's the name of that show?
Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's.
The Gilligan show.
Yeah. When you think of that, you think, oh man, Bob Denver must be floating on in a pool made of gold. But no, he had very little. He got very little money from that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it all depends on the original contract that you signed.
Yeah, it's back in the day.
Seinfeld makes all kinds of money from Seinfeld.
Stupid bank.
The rest of them do not.
Yeah.
Because he has a producer credit and he owned a portion of the show.
You've got to have balls in the beginning. That's the thing. At the very start, you've got to have balls of steel. I admire Sylvester Stallone because his story, he wanted to own his characters.
Right.
It's part of the reason why he has such a problem, I think, with the Creed thing because they kind of took it.
Yeah.
But, he owned Rambo and Rocky and all those. And
he does not. He doesn't own Rocky.
He doesn't own Rocky. And he never did, I know Rambo he does.
I don't know enough about it, but I know that he has asked, he's like, it's been 50 years. Can I have, or 40 or whatever. Yeah. He wants his share of the Rocky franchise.
The point is that I'm pretty sure Sylvester Stallone has made some money.
He has made some money.
He's made some money.
Yeah.
And George Lucas, some would say, has done pretty well for himself. Yeah. And he kind of did the same thing at the very beginning. He made some choices so right now, as we sit here, if anybody from ABC, NBC, HBO, or whatever calls us and says, hey, we'll put your show on TV and we'll pay you $5, we'd both be like, this is awesome. Oh my God.
$5 real
$5
that we split between us or
each? Yeah. Over the course of like 3 years, we would be all over it.
More than I'm making now.
But a baller like George Lucas would be like, no, I ain't doing anything for less than $1 million a day.
Yeah.
And that's basically what he did.
Yeah.
Or he wanted the toys. He knew that toys were going to be a thing.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Now, the toys that made us.
Yeah.
That documentary on Netflix is amazing because that's what Kenner said.
Yeah.
Kenner, they reached out to, I can't remember how many, Hasbro, Mattel, all those other guys turned it down. Wait. You want us to make toys for a movie that hasn't come out yet? You want us to release the toys before the movie comes out?
Yeah.
For this movie.
Yeah.
Nobody believed in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, Kenner said, yeah, we'll do it. They got, oh my God, a ridiculous amount per dollar for the toys.
But everybody thinks that
they would keep that contract as long as the sales were at a certain percentage.
Yeah. And all through the thing, everyone thinks they're screwing George Lucas, and look who's growing a beard.
And you know the story about Billy Joel, right? When Billy Joel was just starting, he signed this ridiculous contract. This guy says, "Look, I'll pay all your bills. I'll take care of you.
You told me about
You'll
that.
be good."
Yeah.
So he signs it, and then he's selling millions of albums and getting next to nothing.
Yeah.
And finally, this guy, buddy of his, goes to his manager and says, I'm going to beat the living out of you if you don't let him out of his contract. I will pummel you to within an inch of your life. Yeah. Let him out of his contract.
Yeah.
And the guy let him out. Yeah. And then Billy made all his money back. And then his ex-wife's brother, who still managed him, embezzled millions from him. And then he finally made it back. And I don't know if he's lost it a third time.
Yeah.
But he lost it twice. I'm sorry, twice. Yeah.
So I had a Tom Petty box set. It was like a 6-disc thing. It came out
playback.
in the 90s. It was playback. Yeah. And there was like a booklet that came in it, and Gay kind of told the story of Tom Petty. I'm not sure if Tom Petty ever knew that he was a millionaire rock star at any point.
Right.
Because it just told about how he played in barns and did these things starting out. And the story just kind of stayed the same with the exception of playing in different venues.
Yeah.
And every time you saw him, he looked like he just got off the bus.
Yeah.
And he's just going up on stage and playing. It's kind of like Willie Nelson. I know Willie Nelson is rich.
Yeah.
I also know he's stoned.
Yeah.
But it seems like if somebody locked him out of his house, like if his mansion, he goes up and he can't get the door open, he would just turn around and
I'll just sleep in the yard.
Fire up a blunt and sleep in the yard, or get on the bus and go somewhere else, and he would be just fine. Tom Petty. I always felt like he'd be just fine if he lost it all. He may not even notice it.
Yeah.
Maybe if he went to go buy a cheeseburger, he wouldn't have the money in the account.
No, I mean, I never saw where Tom Petty lived.
No,
but I know. I mean, I don't think he did like what MC Hammer did. MC Hammer was making $40 million a year, and spending $42 million a year. So, we're running out of time. Before we go, I want to mention I sent an invitation to Nick Offerman to be a guest on Irritable Dad Syndrome. Nick, I doubt you're listening, but if there's anybody out there who knows Nick Offerman, if you could reach out and say, hey, these guys, we're a very popular podcast, and we're a good podcast, and we will treat you with dignity and respect, and we would love to have you be a guest on our show. So Nick Offerman, please accept our invitation and come and be on our show.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody for listening. And again, we want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. You know what? If you want to help us out, you can go to Patreon and you can donate a few bucks here and there. And that helps us do our thing. So, and we appreciate all our listeners. We appreciate all our viewers in the Dayton, Ohio area. We will see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Just give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Wait. I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Do you understand?